Wakey, wakey, rise and shine, my friends. We have another day in crypto land, another day of crazy news and a lot of fundamental improvements, especially in the Cosmos ecosystem. We also have a new airdrop announcement from Sei Network, as well as a new product announced by Picasso Network. But let's start one by one and look into, as always, the ETF flows. We see another green day, $45 million of net inflows on a Bitcoin spot ETF. Grayscale had a major red day yesterday, $105 million in outflows, but BlackRock absorbed most of it and actually also just flipped Grayscale and is now the largest ETF provider in the world. Fidelity also another green day, $34 million. And yes, this is another green day, but compared to the days before, this is really nothing and we really slowed down big time. But anyways, the prices itself are still relatively stable at those levels. Bitcoin 68,000, Ethereum above 3,800, and below that we see some volatility, nothing major, slightly up, slightly down. The big gainer here is actually Celestia TIA that saw a massive pump yesterday, now almost at $12. And also Injective holding up strong, up 5% today. There's also some news I have to share today. So let's not waste more time and actually look into the Cosmos ecosystem. We can see if we start by market cap, the biggest coin still Fetch AI, $2.27, up 2% today. Atom at $8.76, nothing major happened there. But yeah, then you can already see the top gainers. We talked about Celestia, but then also Shentu, which was previously known as Certic, which is also a full-on Cosmos Layer 1 blockchain, up 70% today. I probably missed out on the news here, but yeah, great to see that this is up massively today. Also Kive 46%, Koreum 11%, and yeah, the list goes on and on. But overall, very green day here in Cosmos land. Also Stride, I talked to you about it late last week that there's some news. And these news actually dropped also today, and is also one of the main news that we're going to be covering, up 6% today as well. But let's get started with Picasso Network, which is actually a coin that is not listed on Minscan and is hovering at around half a cent for quite some time now, which implies a $50 million market cap. And considering that Picasso not only shipped IBC on Polkadot, IBC on Kusama, IBC on Ethereum, and IBC on Solana, Picasso also just announced the launch of Mantis, and Mantis is going to be an intent execution environment where that is optimized also on DeFi and uses all this bridging technology and all these IBC extensions under the hood, and is going to be basically a Solana L2. You can find more information here on the Composable Foundation Twitter account. Composable Foundation is the organization that's behind funding the development of Picasso Network and now also of Mantis. If you are an avid Cito viewer and you also saw my Shisha Cito episode with Omar, aka Brainjar, now Brain Damage, then you know that Mantis was actually in the making for quite some time and is also the evolution of the composable chain itself. And this is actually going to launch now as a Solana rollup, the first Solana rollup or Solana L2, which is a chain abstracted intent execution and settlement layer. This sounds very, very complex, but basically what it means is it would enable you as an end user to just say or command, I want to swap my Dogwave hat coins to Osmo and I want to stake them right away. And then everything on the back end would just happen magically. You don't have to do anything manually. It will all happen very seamlessly, and you just have to give the command basically. And this is also secured by Sol, the asset, through Picasso Network, which is then securing the Mantis rollup. Fully IBC compatible. Obviously, Picasso Network, they're big IBC maxis, so this is definitely something that they're also pushing like no others. They're really pushing IBC adoption everywhere. IBC everywhere is also their slogan. So this is really what this is all about. But overall, this just maximizes the capital efficiency and just abstracts a lot of complexity away. The second spotlight news of today is that the Sei Foundation just announced phase 2 of the Sei airdrop, giving out 27.4 million Sei tokens to 43,000 unique addresses. This includes Sei stakers, liquid stakers, and NFT collectors. And if you're delegated to Stake Cito, we're also running a node on the Sei network, then you are also eligible for that airdrop. There are some minimum criteria that need to be filled out, but to also just make it easy and check your eligibility. You can just come here, connect your wallet, and see if you're getting Sei tokens. I think the minimum that you would be getting if you're eligible is around 200 tokens. I have one of my wallets that got this amount. I will be around $110 at the time of this recording. Anyways, this is good to see. Then the third spotlight news for today is Stride Zone, and their role in Forma Chain. Forma Chain is the first sovereign rollup. To be honest, I'm personally not that sure what the difference between a sovereign rollup and a Cosmos app chain, a standard app chain is. But this is all in this modular context with Celestia underneath for data availability. And Stride's role here is that they partnered with Hyperlane to facilitate the bridge to also export TIA and ST-TIA liquidity. And TIA as an asset is going to be also the native gas token on Forma Chain. So this is an interesting effort here, a co-effort from multiple teams that are involved in this. And Forma, from my understanding itself, is going to be optimized for the creators economy. I'm not sure if it's basically an NFT marketplace in that sense, but yeah, definitely something for creators and art people. So check that out if you're interested in that. And yeah, this is also built by Astria, which is also a Celestia ecosystem project that hasn't launched yet, but is probably going to also have a big splash. And I think overall the Celestia ecosystem is hasn't even started yet, right? We haven't seen anything yet. So far, we have seen a couple of launches, but I think there's still a lot of big launches that are coming up. But yeah, Forma Chain, definitely one that you can play around with right now because the mainnet just launched. So modularium.art is where you can go. As this is built on Astria, I believe Astria is optimized for the EVM. So this is all EVM compliant. But since TIA is a native token, this is all priced in TIA, and TIA is kind of the native asset on Forma Chain. And maybe this is one of the reasons why TIA pumped yesterday. I'm sure it's also just been because it got sold off aggressively from the $20 highs to below, I think below $8. It even dipped and is now around $11, $12. So some recovery, but also maybe some positive news here from Forma Chain, and then also some of the excitement around the next wave of Celestia ecosystem projects that are coming to life with Astria, Caldera, and many, many more. Then we also have some news from Osmosis. In my view, also one of the most underrated Cosmos coins right now in the Cosmos ecosystem. The fee abstraction module PRs are in progress for those chains, Stargaze, Akashnet, Stride, Umi, Nolos, and the Cosmos Hub. This would enable for transaction fees to be paid in any token and not just a native token. And this would also massively improve the user experience, abstracting the fee complexity away. And this is great to see that this is now getting more and more rolled out. Also, Osmosis now has DevMos coming up, which, by the way, I love the design here. And I also love that they're getting all of these teams together, right? This is a Cosmos-oriented series of technical talks. So this is all around Cosmos. And you can see some of the teams here, like Sei, for example, DYDX, Movement. Some of them have even publicly basically stated that they kind of want to distance themselves from Cosmos. But then you see things like these happening. And I've been telling you this as well for a long, long time. Last year at Cosmoverse, DYDX was one of the largest sponsors. I have a DYDX interview coming up tomorrow. We also validated with Sexito. It's not like they want to distance themselves from Cosmos and not have to do anything with the builders, the validators, the community. I think it's just been a lot of the drama that kept these teams away from basically going all in on the Cosmos brand itself. And yeah, but in reality, you can see that they're still aligned under the hood, right? And that's really what matters, right? It's like the alignment around the technology. This is the most important thing. Now, Osmo itself, like I said, still insanely undervalued. I think anything below $1 is insane in my books, at least. And yeah, still has a 10.5% staking APR. They also worked a lot on their tokenomics in the bear markets, and also a reallocation or adjustment on the block rewards, because it was basically split up between liquidity providers, stakers. There was also a developer incentive, and I think one more category. But anyways, I think community treasury. Yeah, so they changed the on-chain governance, changed the parameters here, and yeah, I think in the bull run, Osmo is going to surprise many. Now, then we also have some thoughts here from Brian, which, by the way, is the best person to follow. If you're bullish on Atom, this guy has one of the best communications and transparent viewpoints on what they're building at Informal. He actually works at Informal, and the core organization that's building shared security on the Cosmos Hub, and now does a lot of the BD and also Hydro, aka Atom Wars, and much more. And he's now proposing basically to lower the on-chain governance voting period. This is currently at 2 weeks. Many chains, especially newer chains, have a voting period of like 3 to 4 or 5 days, so less than a week. And I think Atom, has this long process of 2 weeks. And yes, this might be too long because this is a no-brainer proposal, right? ICS 2.0, and we still have to wait a week for it to get executed because that's just how the governance process works on the Cosmos Hub. But this is all adjustable, and there could be a proposal which takes 2 weeks to reduce that time. So this might be something that is actually coming, and great to see also Brian's efforts, Informal's efforts, and also Brian's communication here around all these things. Then I also want to share this tweet from Bobby, who is the co-founder at CoinGecko. And this is also something that, some people have asked me, especially recently, yo, Sito, why are you still bullish on Cosmos? Isn't there too much drama? Nothing is pumping. We're all going down. Atom is not pumping, right? But number one, as I always say, people are not really pricing in and factoring in the airdrops and the amount of years that you've been around an ecosystem. You should be sitting on decent airdrops and all these coins that are now there, Tia, Saga, Dymension, right? Even Osmo in the early days, and like 50 plus coins that are in the ecosystem. So if you've been around for long enough in Cosmos, then you should be fine, number one. Number two, it just proves the technological architecture around app chains, right? And what app chains basically enable is full sovereignty and full customizability, right? And this also fits into the modular thesis pioneered by Celestia. Guess what? Celestia is a Cosmos chain. Now we see DYDX, they announced their move from Ethereum to Cosmos and launched their Cosmos chain actually already over 7 months ago. And my projection is that we're going to see a lot more like this. We already have Aave and ENS, Ethereum name service, that just announced that they're launching a chain. We also had MakerDAO announcing a chain, and we had a lot more blue chip Ethereum ecosystem projects that eventually are going to launch on chains. And guess where they're launching it? Most likely in Cosmos, because Cosmos just is actually built and optimized for exactly that, to allow full sovereignty, full customizability, and seamless interoperability through IBC, the Inter-Blockchain Communication Protocol. So this is interesting. I think this just proves the Cosmos thesis was right all along. Now, we also have some quick news from Injective. I talked to you yesterday about it, how they were integrated by Mercurio. Now they also got integrated by Binance Pay. So INJ is now officially integrated, allowing millions of users globally to make payments and shop using INJ. This includes flights, hotels, and much more. So great to see INJ getting rolled out more and more. And then also we have some news from Akash Network, AKT. They're currently having the Akash Accelerate Summit in Austin, Texas. And Gregor Zuri presented the new roadmap there. I haven't seen a visual yet, a graphic yet. But yeah, this was one thing. And another thing was also this fireside chat with Eric Forhees, CEO at Venice AI, which is also using Akash Network underneath. And Eric Forhees is obviously one of the most OG people in all crypto. AKT itself saw this massive pump just before I recorded this video, from like $5.09 to $5.70, even higher than that. But yeah, something's happening here on Akash. Definitely one to keep an eye on. And Akash, I think, is also going to be one of the biggest stars, one of the biggest blue chips for AI infrastructure this cycle. Anyway, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and watch out for my DYDX interview coming up soon. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, stay safe and be good.